Well, it was quite the marmalade dropper this morning, wasn't it? This allegation in Spare, Prince Harry's forthcoming autobiography that's been leaked to The Guardian, that he had a physical alteration with Prince William. Until now, of course, the Prince in interviews has hinted at the breakdown in relations between the royal brothers, but not quite gone into this extent of detail. And Harry says that the argument was about his wife Meghan, that William said that she was rude and abrasive, that Harry disagreed, that William then grabbed him by the collar and he ended up in the dog bowl and injured, which is obviously probably more detail than we ever expected to hear. There had been suggestions in advance that Spare was going to be more harsh on William and indeed Kate than it would be on Charles. But this is just one of, we believe, a string of accusations that's going to be made in this book. Obviously, this book has been kept under lock and key. It wasn't expected to be revealed until next week when it's published and hits bookshelves. However, it's probably quite convenient that some of these sensational claims have been pitch-rolled already ahead of the weekend. Prince Harry's done a series of interviews which are due to be aired in the UK and US on Sunday. The couple haven't necessarily been brilliantly received on the back of their Netflix documentary, which has been watched by lots of people over Christmas, but public opinion about them has been nosediving in the sense that the British public now, 44% of them think that Harry and Meghan should be stripped of their titles, which is probably not the intention when they sort of shared their deepest, darkest thoughts about the royal family in that six-parter. So perhaps it's convenient to have this very sensational allegation released now. The other thing is, let's look at the timing of when this is alleged to have happened in 2019. That was around the time, or at least following the time, that a bullying dossier was handed by Jason Knauf, then the couple's communications secretary, to the head of HR at Buckingham Palace. It strikes me that when Harry says to William, or claims to have said to William, that William was parroting the press in attacking Meghan, that's a quite contradictory statement to his allegation that his brother and his father authorised the leaking and planting of stories about him and his wife. Was William parroting the press, therefore, or was William critical of Meghan and then that ended up in the press? Because feelings seem to become negative about the couple after the wedding when they are alleged to have not behaved well to staff and people involved in the wedding. And that's the timing. So from about the autumn of 2019 onwards, we get stories about tantrums over tiaras and air fresheners in churches. Was there a battle between the brothers? Because there was this sense, I think, that Harry resented William because he felt William sided with the staff against him and his wife. I think Harry probably thought, blood is thicker than water. We've got staff making complaints against my wife, and you're backing them rather than your own flesh and blood. Equally, my impression is that William and Kate felt awkward that staff that both couples shared were finding it allegedly difficult to work for Harry and Meghan. So you had William and Kate with staff coming to them complaining about their behaviour. How does William square that circle? This is his beloved brother, but equally they're sharing staff that are making quite strong claims about alleged ill treatment. So when the couple say in the Netflix documentary, everything changed, they're attributing that to the media. But could I pose the theory that if everything was changing behind palace gates and members of staff were complaining about the Sussex's behaviour, not only to Jason Knauf and subsequently to HR, but also to the then Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, then everything changed because the perception of them behind palace gates changed, and William and Kate found themselves stuck in the middle. That's not to justify if there was physical fisticuffs, but it may provide some context to this ongoing row. Also, I think people looking at it will think, well, goodness me, I've come to blow with my siblings. And equally, maybe there is this familiarity with the notion of relationships between siblings changing depending on who they marry. And not just when wives come in, but also husbands can change dramatically the dynamic of a family. That's my analysis of all this at this point, but I'm sure there'll be more to follow.